The Texas Builders Construction was hired by the Water Management Department to renovate the storage room in the basement of the pump station building. According to the contract between the Water Management Department and the Texas Builders Construction, this project included the replacement of the existing shelves, tiles, doors, and painting the walls according to the plans and drawings. When the hot work operators were working in the storage room, a fire incident occurred, resulting in damages inside the storage room, including the buckling of these two columns that is shown with the red dashed rectangular line. But after the fire, other damages to the equipment inside the pump station in other rooms were also observed and led to a disagreement between the FP Insurance Group, the insurer of the pump station, and the Texas Builders Construction. The FP Insurance Group holds the contractor liable for buckling of these two columns inside the storage room and for the pump shaft breakage on the ground floor. Additionally, the FP Insurance Group also holds the contractor liable for the pipe breakage in the pipe room next to the storage room in the basement and the settlement of these two footings, as you see in the footing plan. Today, I am representing the Texas Builders Construction, which is the defendant in this case, to present its defense and respond to the FP Insurance's claim as a plaintiff. To help you better understand our arguments, let me give you a quick introduction to the pump station building. The pump station building is a two-story building including a basement and a ground floor. This thick black line represents the ground level. In the basement, we have two separate areas. This one, the storage room, the place where the fire incident occurred, and this one, the pipe room. On the ground floor, we have the office area and the pump room, where the two pumps were operating at the time of the incident. The fire incident occurred inside the storage room in the basement. According to the NFPA 51B, which is the standard for fire prevention during welding, cutting, and other hot work, the storage room is a permit-required area. So our hot work operators and our welders had to receive a hot work permit before beginning their work. In this slide, you see the hot work permit that the contractor received from the client before the starting of the hot work operation inside the storage room. The issuance of this permit indicated that the area was ready and safe for the welding according to the standard. The client had to make the storage free and clear from any kinds of combustible materials. However, unexpectedly, when the welders started working, these shelves shown with the black dashed lines had not been removed, and these four shelves inside the rectangular red dashed lines were still full of contents, as you can see here in the picture. This is the picture which was taken by the contractor before performing the work. When the fire started, the welders realized that despite the standard obligation among the materials stored in these shelves, there were some containers of the flammable liquid stored, which added to the intensity of the fire. If there were not these containers, the welders might have been able to extinguish the fire and prevent further damages. In addition, accessibility issues to the building delayed the firefighting process. As you see in this slide, the pump station building has two entrances from the outside environment to the building. One is here on the west side of the building, and the next one is on the east side. And the storage room and the pipe room can be accessed through these two staircases. This one connects the office area on the ground floor to the storage room, and the other from the pump room on the ground floor to the pipe room in the basement. At the time of the incident, the building was under operation, and as you see in this section, the office area was full of furniture, consequently slowing down the firefighting process, leading to more damages to the building. Eventually, in spite of all the drawbacks in the firefighting process, The fire was extinguished in 70 minutes, but the exposure to the fire for this duration. These two steel columns in the storage room, which are shown with red rectangular dashed lines, were buckled, unfortunately. The FP Insurance Group claims that the Texas Builders Construction is also liable for all damages outside the storage room, in addition to the inside, because of the buckling of these two columns. We have investigated the compliance of these two columns with the fire resistance standard. As you see in this slide, according to the standard, the minimum period of fire resistance in the non-sprinklered basement of the industrial building is 90 minutes when the depth of the basement is not more than 10 meters, which is the case here. Whereas the columns in the storage area were buckled in less than 70 minutes, as I explained before, indicating that the columns did not have enough fire protection and did not comply with the relevant standard. To summarize the presentation, the Texas Builders Construction, as the contractor in the renovation project of the pump station, does not accept its liability for damages outside the storage room, including the pump shaft breakage, the pipe breakage, and the footing settlements. The client had not removed the shelves from the storage room, a condition specified in the contract, but also issued the notice to proceed for welding while the containers with the combustible materials were in the shelves, which is against the obligation of the standard for fire prevention during welding, cutting, and other hot work, therefore added to the intensity of the fire. Further, the accessibility for the firefighters to the incident area took longer than expected and led to more damages. In spite of these two issues, still, the contractor accepts the responsibility to compensate for damages inside the storage room, but not outside the storage room, even though the FP Insurance claims that they were the cause of the buckling by the columns inside the storage area. Because, as I explained during the presentation, these columns did not resist the fire as much as they were prescribed in the standard, indicating that they did not meet the standard requirement. Even accepting that the damages outside the building were the consequences of the buckling of the columns inside the storage area, if they met the standard requirements and resisted the fire, the other damages in the part of the building would have never occurred. Thank you very much for your time and attention to my presentation.